the ninth most powerful army in the world, a budget reaching $50 billion. 2 out of every 3 drones in the global market now carry its seal. 1,700 defense companies, all rising at once. These aren't just numbers. This is a massive shift in power, a nation that rose from the depths of dependency to break free from foreign control. Who is this giant, and how did it achieve the impossible? In the past, the scene was very different. Only 17 struggling defense companies existed, and the army was forced to import almost all its weapons. The banning of sensitive technology to pressure Ankara didn't stop them, but forced them to build their own. The SAHA EXPO is the best proof of this change. It features 1,700 defense giants and 200,000 experts. Suicide drones duel in the air, and space-age robots conquer the terrain. The carrier Anadolu now leads a new era at sea. But how did Turkey become technologically independent? It shattered its bonds with the talons of Baykar and the intellect of ASELSAN. The Kızılelma stealth drone silently chokes out traditional fighter jets. The Murad AESA radar pierces the darkness. The TB3 launches supersonic missiles from the sea. The Bayraktar utilizes AI to stick landings on short-deck carriers. The KAAN stealth fighter, a frame designed to swallow enemy radar, awaits to be launched soon. The ultimate shock arrived at SAHA 2026. Ankara unveiled for the first time the hypersonic intercontinental missile Yildirim Han ICBM, a Turkish ballistic missile exceeding speeds of 30,000 kilometers per hour, a strategic deterrence that rewrites the balance of power. So how is this arsenal funded? This is calculated military spending. $47 billion were invested inside Turkey last year alone, instead of going to Western companies. But this isn't just about spending, it's about profit. These exhibitions feed the veins of local manufacturing. The goal, reduce imports to the absolute minimum. The vision, transform defense into a profitable investment that fiercely funds its own. As to the drone market, it is a legitimate monopoly, with Turkey controlling 2/3 of the global trade. Exports are piercing continents, leaving major powers scrambling for a seat at Ankara's table. Is this just a hunger for profit, or are the Turks protecting their own? Turkey has produced swarms of heavy drones for every province. But the provinces asked not for the catch, but for the rod. So Ankara responded promptly, establishing production and training centers in every state to ensure rapid general mobilization. If one factory falls, 1,000 more rise in that very moment. But are drones enough to protect Ankara? No, thus came the Steel Dome, a centralized AI brain capable of analyzing hundreds of targets in a single second. If the threat comes by land, the core-cut cannon shreds it with smart fragmentation rounds. If it comes by air, HISAR missiles provide a vertical noose. Ballistic threats? The cyber system interceptors are ready to vaporize them. Swarm drones? An electromagnetic shield destroys them at the speed of light without firing a single bullet. The sea is guarded by the Göksur system. This leads us to the most vital question. Where is the human element? Ankara has a mighty human flood. 36 million citizens eligible for service, a recruitment cycle that pumps 1.4 million fresh souls every year, an active duty force of 355,000, a crushing force against enemies. But where does this army stand? The answer lies in Anatolia, the anchor of an empire situated at the crossroads of the world, surrounded by 8 nations and 3 strategic seas, holding the keys to the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles, a geographic reality so potent that NATO was forced to include Turkey to contain Soviet reach. Decades into this rising military arc, Lieutenant General Ben Hodges, former commander of U.S. Army Europe, stated that it's impossible to imagine NATO without Turkey. Who profits from this military giant? The Turkish economy leads the list. Ankara's weaponry is carving a path through Arab markets, from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE to Morocco and Tunisia. Globally, demand is skyrocketing from Ukraine, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, and Poland all the way to Indonesia. Over $10 billion flowed into the Turkish treasury last year from arms exports alone. Simultaneously, importing nations gain effective hardware at a lower cost and with far more flexibility than Western systems allow. This is no longer just an arms trade, it is a shift in the axis of power. The shackled giant has risen and conquered. It sells peace to the West in public while forging lethal deterrence in its secret workshops. But it does not fly alone. It calls for a sovereign alliance to break the shackles of dependency. If the rise of one nation shook the map of the great powers, what happens when wealth and intellect unite into a single defense entity? Are we standing at the threshold of a global Islamic pole that will change the face of history forever? Share and comment.